I think Bitcoin's this awesome innovation and this really cool idea, but the mining process has always been kind of a thorn in my side for it. It's like, it seems like a pretty fundamental issue, right? Basically with Bitcoin, it takes like literally billions of dollars a year to like secure the network. And this seems unnecessary to me. Like, so basically after I sold Mt. Gox, I started thinking of other ways to solve this same kind of consensus problem that Bitcoin is trying to solve. So essentially Bitcoin's innovation is it solves what's called the double spend problem. Like you can have this digital representation of value and you have a way of knowing that you've sent it to this one person, so you won't send it to the same person again or a different person again, right? Nobody really knew how to solve this problem prior to Bitcoin, but once Bitcoin solved it, it got people thinking, well, hey, maybe there are other ways to solve this same consensus issue. And that kind of led to the design of what became Ripple. So
let's go through Ripple then, because that's become one of the largest cryptocurrencies in the world. You started it with a few other people, as I understand it?
Well, I started it by myself. I brought on a few other people that were in kind of going to like Bitcoin meetups there. So David Schwartz and Arthur Brito like joined me like pretty early. Like basically I had the idea and I was like, I didn't really want to program it. So I like brought some people on to help me work on it. And then we were kind of going for maybe like 6 months. And then in parallel to this, I was like, again, like I'm usually like on the technical side of things and usually like bring in someone to help be like CEO. So I started looking for someone to do that. I eventually found Chris Larson.
The next 2 minutes you're about to see information and news not seen before in the history of cryptocurrency. I found the original post from 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚, the original post from 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚 that created Ripple Labs. This is from 11 years ago. Building business with smart contracts. Original Ripple board member 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚 talking Codius 10 years ago. 11 years ago there was talk of Ripple being the next eBay, XRP, XRPL. Here's 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚 9 years ago. Ripple. Smart oracles. Building business logic with smart contracts. This provides smart contracts for Bitcoin, Ripple, and everything else. There's 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚 right there. And Tech Talk. He posted in Tech Talk Introduction to Codius 8 years ago. 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚. And how do I know this is 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚? And this is a very significant find for many may that not know. There was a big thing back in the day who could find the picture of 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚. So for me to find 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚's original Reddit post and comments is amazing. Here it is, 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚's account, and I will show you guys, well, how can I prove this 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚? Well, here's a post farther down. The thread does not state that this is the original creator of Mt. Gox and 𝕤𝕠𝕐𝕐, both which were rather significant, the next eBay. So if I actually go to this post right here, this is the very first post from 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚 in 2010 that started Ripple. It says, any programmers into Bitcoin looking for a new job. Imagine the first Ripple position job opening was posted on Reddit and anybody could have responded. And here's 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚. As I was going through the comments to see what people were saying, interesting that he says cryptocurrency related and not Bitcoin related 11 years ago. Sounds like a generic distributed exchange. And 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚 says, I'm involved with this project. This is a real opportunity. Bitcoiners will find this project jaw-droppingly good. So that's 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚 backing up 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚's original post 11 years ago. I know for a fact that most likely nobody's seen this that's watching this video right now today. Maybe a small percent. Now if you go to the next post, I'm involved with this project, 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚 right there. Can you give any details on what OpenCoin is going to be doing? 11 years ago. Sorry, no, not right now. Only potential early partners have the inside scoop. What does it require to become a potential early partner? You need to be able to contribute significantly to the product's successful launch. This was a $1 million opportunity right here in front of you. This guy says, I'm pretty awesome at looking up stuff on Wikipedia. Will that work? So, when I go back to the original post from 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕜𝕤, any programmers in the Bitcoin looking for a new job, I noticed it was posted under Swamp 12. Swamp 12. Now, if you go to the original post that, well, this is the background from the SEC lawsuit. In early 2011, 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤, 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕜𝕚, and David Schwartz developed the source code for cryptograph and blockchain. So 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤, 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕜𝕚, that's one of the persons we're covering today. It's 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤. I found the uSwamp, and how do I know this is 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚? Well, here's 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤 backing them up right here. I'll show you guys in more tweets. Business contracts shows you that one. Original Ripple board member on Reddit 2010, 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤. His case for crypto and Bitcoin. Well, some penny stock companies turn out to be success, but this is pretty rare. And 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤 says, Bitcoin is not a penny stock. Bitcoin does not rely on the success of any particular company. Bitcoin can be used as an international currency. Bitcoin is more like gold. Like physical gold, it does not have a counterparty risk. Unlike physical gold, you can send it electronically. This is 11 years ago here. And here's 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤. This is some of his posts, because I didn't notice before, but on Reddit you can see all their posts, all their comments, and about. So I went to 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕤𝕤's post. He updated the OpenCoin website 10 years ago. Chris Larson. OpenCoin acquires Simple Honey. This was 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤's future wife, I believe, who had a company called Honey. Ripple acquired that back in the day. Ripple Meetup 10 years ago. Only 11 likes, no comments. No one knew. Regulators to classify gold, Bitcoin, San Francisco tech space, August 11 years ago. So pretty much you can see that things were just starting off. 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤 makes the case for Bitcoin. You can tell they were Bitcoin bulls, and they were bullish on the idea of cryptocurrency. There are a few other factors that make Bitcoin ideal from 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤. Bitcoin has no counterparty risk, and no one can devolve. Now, Bitcoin cannot be confiscated. And then he actually references the 1933 executive order where they confiscate the gold. So that's pretty interesting there. Maybe I'll look up into this executive order to increase the video. And I actually want to go to, okay, comments from 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤 and 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕚𝕤. So actually under the comments section, there's 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕤𝕤's comments, BitPay. I need help choosing a Bitcoin payment solution. What is the safest, most reliable way to buy Bitcoin? And he actually shares that Bitcoin is accessible at 15,000 locations 11 years ago. The 800-pound gorilla in the room. Some thoughts on the price of Bitcoin here. Cash for Bitcoins in New York. Can anyone help me out? Create a free account. He's referencing how to get Bitcoin to someone. Why do Bitcoin exchanges rely on flaky internet service? More comments here. Love Bitcoin, love Bitcoin. How to buy Bitcoin with PayPal 11 years ago. I actually found so much information. Here's more comments from 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕤𝕤. Bitcoin for beginners. How does Mt. Gox pending order work? You can place an order anytime. So this is, I tried to actually tie 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕤𝕤 to being working with Mt. Gox at 𝕤𝕚𝕟𝕤𝕤, but I couldn't connect him there. Maybe they meant shortly after Mt. Gox, but he is responding to Mt. Gox questions. That's kind of interesting. How does Mt. Gox pending orders work? You can place an order at any time if you have insufficient funds and the order is inactive. When the funds arrive, you can have sufficient funds. Your order becomes active. It will consume other people's active outstanding orders at the best rate for your first. When you are no longer orders, you meet your price point, your orders will become active outstanding order. So basically he's explaining the process on Mt. Gox. So is this when everyone starts talking about Ripple 10 years ago? Ripple versus Ripplers, alternative to Mt. Gox. I like this one right here. Rather than switch to a centralized exchange, switch to a decentralized one. Ripple.com. So basically 10 years ago, they were kind of spinning Ripple as a decentralized exchange. They kind of really didn't know which way they wanted to go with it. And this is why I think wasn't sure if they wanted to focus on Codius, smart contracts, or just narrow in on payments. And this is why I was showing you guys that 𝕝𝕚𝕟𝕚 was talking Codius 10 years ago, but I think they decided to mainly focus on payments at the time. Which you've actually heard Dave Schwartz say, hey, maybe that may have been a mistake or maybe not been a mistake. But I think when Brad came in, they was basically trying to focus on the peanut butter manifesto style, to just focus on one thing and do it well. So matter of fact, Brad Garlinghouse is the one that said that we kind of didn't focus on the smart contracts. And I think 𝕝𝕚𝕟𝕚 was back in the smart contracts, Codius, and Brad maybe said, hey, let's just focus on payments. So interesting there.
So a man just finished work, and he's walking home, and he's kind of thirsty. He passes by a bar, and he decides that he'll stop in and get something to drink. So he stops in the bar, and he sees a man at the end of the bar in a pirate costume. And I mean like the most amazing Hollywood-grade pirate costume you've ever seen. Peg leg, hook hand, eye patch, everything but the parrot. And he walks up to the guy and he says, I can't help but noticing that is one of the most incredible pirates anywhere. He goes, no, there still are pirates. He's like, no, there aren't pirates. And it's like, no, there still are pirates. I'm a pirate. He says, all right, if you're a pirate, how'd you get the peg leg? He says, well, you're never going to believe this. It was my very first day as a pirate. Got into a battle, you know how it happens, and lost my leg. Won the battle, but they cut my leg off. When you're a pirate, you get a peg leg. The guy's like, I guess I don't know what I expected, but okay. I don't know that I believe that, but all right, tell me about the hook hand. He says, well, you're never going to believe this one. It was my second day as a pirate. I got into another battle, and I was unsteady because of the peg leg, and they cut my arm off. And when you're a pirate and you lose your arm, you get a hook hand. He goes, oh, I guess I don't know what I expected. I guess that makes sense. I don't know if I believe that, but I guess in for a penny, in for a pound. How'd you get the eye patch? He says, well, you're never going to believe this one. It was my third day as a pirate. We were coming into port, and I heard a sound up above me. And so I looked up, and a seagull just relieved himself right in my eye. He goes, I don't know that I believe the peg leg. I don't know about the hook hand. But there is no way I'm going to believe that you lost your eye because a seagull, crapped in your eye. He says, well, you have to remember, son, it was my first day with the hook.
Mission Control, we have liftoff.